Hey guys, what's up? Toboloco here. Welcome back to our Subscriber World Cup for the month of June. We said last time we'll do a 3-star to 1-star team, you know, the radius of that, and we got some brilliant entries. And today we're able to do a double Subscriber World Cup. I have to say, before we start, there were around about 10 people that missed out on this. I mean, we couldn't really do a third, so there are 10 entries and I had to make the tough decision to leave some people out, which really sucks. I hate doing that, but unfortunately that's part of the process. I just didn't have enough teams to do a third, but yeah, I do apologize for that. Anyway, let's go into the names. So in Group A we have Kenya, represented by Malik Murwicki. We have Lithuania represented by Grubby Coach, and the City Centre, or City Centre I should say, Thailand represented by Francisco Fratelli, and Yemen represented by Mr. Vinny. In Group B we have Luxembourg represented by JC Eurovision Fan, Somalia represented by Yadir there, Philippines represented by Guest 1337 Classic, and Haiti represented by AI 14106. In Group C we have Hong Kong represented by Marshy Whitey, Singapore represented by Average Singaporean, Suriname represented by Fintan, and Estonia represented by the S-Stone. We have Group D, Latvia represented by Hugh Jazz. Nice one, mate, nice one. Gambia represented by Mata Dothai, if I've said that right, I hope so. Cyprus represented by Hamlet, and Gabon represented by Mario Maroquin. In Group E we have San Marino represented by Peter Schwartz, Nepal represented by Zion Molina, Chad represented by Wasteland Wanderer, Austria represented by Nino F1 Fan. In Group F we have Vietnam represented by 3 people, Mr. Krabs, SRE Penthouses, and St. Mark 2004. New Zealand was also represented by 3 people, Football Finley, Miss Video Games, and the Ninja Edits. Iran represented by 2 people, Effortless Perfection and Really Edits TM. Togo represented by Ryan Bromhead. In Group G we have Oman represented by Seth, Israel represented by Lahav Soto, Kuwait represented by Not So Live, and Belarus represented by 2 people, Borzikus and Andre. In Group H we have Panama represented by Adrian D. Riviera, Honduras represented by CR7 Fan, Bulgaria represented by Patrick Milley, and Venezuela represented by William Junks. So you all know who you are. If you don't see yourself in this one, you are potentially in the second one. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So you know the drill. This part we do really quickly. You know, we speed it up on the video, and then the rest of it we just go through like normal. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright then, so obviously you know who you all are. This is the first group stage results for the first Subscriber World Cup. So in Group A we have Lithuania and Kenya going through. In Group B we have Haiti and the Philippines going through. We have Group C with Estonia and Hong Kong going through. In Group D we have Cyprus and Gabon going through. Group E, rather surprisingly, not Austria going through, that's quite normal, but San Marino going through with 4 points. So well done San Marino. And in Group F we have Togo and Vietnam going through over Iran and New Zealand. That's slightly surprising. Group G we have Oman and Belarus going through over Israel and Kuwait. And in Group H we have Honduras and Venezuela going through. Panama and Bulgaria going home. The people eliminated in this part will drop down into the second chance Subscriber World Cup. So obviously keep watching, because you never know, you might win the second one. In the round of 16 we have Lithuania versus the Philippines, we have Estonia versus Gabon, Haiti versus Kenya, Cyprus versus Hong Kong, Austria versus Vietnam, Oman versus Venezuela, Togo versus San Marino, and Honduras versus Belarus. So let's go into the calendar and simulate it bit by bit. So let's have a look then. So our first match is going to be Estonia versus Gabon. I can probably see maybe Austria or Oman or Venezuela winning this tournament if you want my prediction at the start, but you never know. You never know what will happen in these things. So, alright, let's simulate the first one, and it skipped ahead quite a bit. So Estonia beat Gabon 1-0. That's quite surprising. So Gabon have been eliminated, and Lithuania beat the Philippines by 2-1. In the other group games, we have In the other round of 16 matches, we have Haiti beating Kenya 5-0 and Cyprus beating Hong Kong 2-0. Next up we have Austria versus Vietnam and Oman versus Venezuela. You would like to think Austria would win that game, but let's have a look and see. It is a 4-0 to Vietnam, so that's pretty standard. This one is kind of uncallable between Oman and Venezuela. Oman are usually quite good on this game on 2014, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. And let's go back and have a look at that result. And it was a 2-1 to Oman. So yeah, my suspicions were right. Oman beat Venezuela 2-1. And next up we have Honduras versus Belarus. Simulate that one. And that was a 3-1. It just popped up really quickly on the screen. And Togo ended San Marino's run by beating them 4-0. Okay. So next up we have some quarterfinals for you. Austria versus Oman. Again, another tight game. And Lithuania versus Estonia in the battle of the, let me get this right, Baltics? Is it not Balkans, Baltics, right? All right, let's go for it. Let's have a look. Austria beat Oman 2-1, and Lithuania and Estonia played out a really good game, but Lithuania won 3-2 in the end. And next up we have Togo versus Honduras and Haiti versus Cyprus. Again, I can't really call these two games, to be fair. So let's have a look and see. It was Honduras beating Togo 2-1 and Cyprus beating Haiti by 2-1 as well. So your semi-finals are poised like this. We have Lithuania versus Austria and Cyprus versus Honduras. Could be an upset here, but I'm feeling like it will be a Honduras versus Austria final. Does seem like it because these teams are slightly bigger than the other teams, so we'll see. Right, first game, Lithuania versus Austria. Let's simulate that one. That was a 2-0 to Lithuania. Wow. Okay, so one team has been knocked out that I'm following. If Honduras get knocked out, the problem is it will simulate all the way to the end and we can't watch the final. So I'm kind of rooting for Honduras in a way. But you know, it is what it is. It happens sometimes. It's out of my control when that happens. So, all right, let's simulate this one and see what happens. Cyprus versus Honduras. Okay, so Honduras actually won that game. And, yeah, so we've got a final between Lithuania and Honduras. We can actually watch that, which is great. So that'll be good. But let's find out our third place winner out of Austria and Cyprus. Okay, so Austria beat Cyprus by 4-1. So let's go back and have a look. So Austria was represented by Nino F1 fan. You have come third. So congratulations to you. And Cyprus was represented by Hamlet. You've come fourth with Cyprus. Not too bad at all. So yeah, you two have got your final placements. So let me just quickly check out the final table or your final tournament tree. We're going to watch the final in real time and I'll just put up the highlights, not the whole game, just the highlights. Alright then, so your final is between Lithuania and Honduras obviously, but let me read out the people that are involved. So Grubby Coach and the City Centre are representing Lithuania. Honduras is represented by CR7 fan. So this final isn't controlled by me, it's controlled purely by the legendary AI. So let's see if we can have a good game. That was a hell of a ball by Lithuania. And the goalkeeper has just taken out the striker of Lithuania. And a penalty in the early minutes of the game. Okay. Well, is that going to be a red for the goalkeeper? Will that be a red? No, it isn't. It was just a normal challenge. Matukavicius. That was cheeky. That was so lovely, that penalty. And he scores to make it 1-0 to Lithuania. They can dream as Grubby Coach and the City Centre are ahead thanks to their Lithuanian team. So after that penalty goal, nothing has happened. Literally nothing. Both teams have been locked in a massive midfield battle, but Lithuania have had lots more possession. So through ball, Honduras are going through. Costly. Oh, it's blocked. And, well, can Lithuania clear? They have. That was the first chance that Honduras have had all game. Not even joking. Bit of a weird final. I thought it was going to be really good. Turns out it was very slow and very uneventful. But Lithuania are on the verge of winning the Subscriber World Cup for the first time ever. There we go. It's been confirmed. The match is over. And Lithuania have won it. So Grubby Coach and the City Centre, you are our winners for June 2025. How about that? Well done to you both for guiding Lithuania to the World Cup final in the Subscriber World Cup final and winning it. And commiserations or congratulations, however you look at it, to CR7 fan who finishes second in our tournament. Unlucky. I mean, Honduras, they didn't really have... well, they didn't offer anything up top. So that's going to be the end of your first Subscriber World Cup. Now we roll on to the second chance Subscriber World Cup. Alright then guys, so this is your second chance Subscriber World Cup. So you know who you are if you've dropped down or been eliminated into this one. So I'm just going to read out the 16 new participants that enter this one. So Canada represented by Cutter Historical, UAE represented by Bobby Clark Left Leg, Iceland represented by Ivory Trance, Bolivia represented by Cuthbert McVeigh, Tahiti represented by Conrad, Lebanon represented by Justini, Fiji represented by Renus Gaming 8887, Cuba represented by DJ and Benga, Ethiopia represented by Liquid, Bangladesh represented by Izuki Gomez, I hope I said that correctly, India represented by Bryant Jimenez, we have Tunisia represented by Ikambe Gemma, Malta represented by Isaac Vea, North Korea represented by Madman E, Armenia represented by Al Jukiko Costa von Algadu. I hope I said that correctly. Every time this dude's name is in the Subscriber World Cup, I'm making my mission to try and pronounce it as best as possible. And Burkina Faso represented by Ebsi. So you all know who you are. So you know the drill. This bit is done really quickly. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright then, so your second chance Subscriber World Cup looks like this, the group stages anyway. So Panama and Bolivia go through to the round of 16, leaving behind Iceland and Tunisia. Group B, we have Malta and Singapore going through quite comfortably. Group C was Canada and the UAE going through. Group D was India and Gambia going through in that one. Group E was Burkina Faso and Israel in that group. I just realized that Israel and Iran are in the same group. Probably should have thought about that one before, you know, I put them in there, but okay. Group F, Chad and Fiji went through in that one. Group G, Ethiopia and Thailand went through. And in Group H, we have Armenia and Bulgaria going through. To set up a round of 16 with Panama and Singapore for the first match of this round of 16. Canada versus Gambia, Malta versus Bolivia, India versus the UAE, Burkina Faso versus Fiji, Ethiopia versus Bulgaria, Chad versus Israel, and Armenia versus Thailand. Alright then, so we're going to simulate this one live. I just realised that if you press X, it actually simulates the whole day, not just the matches. I've been playing this game for years, and I just realised that. How stupid am I? So I'm going to do it by day, so... the first match we got is Panama and Singapore and Canada and Gambia. So let's simulate the match day and see what happens. We have got Panama beating Singapore 2-0 and we have Panama beating Singapore 2-0 and Canada beating Gambia 2-1. Next match day we have Malta versus Bolivia and India versus UAE. So let's simulate that match day. And we have Bolivia beating Malta 2-1. So it was quite close in the end. And again, UAE beating India 2-1. So it was quite close in that one. Next up we have Burkina Faso versus Fiji and Ethiopia versus Bulgaria. So let's simulate that one. And we go to this one. Burkina Faso beat Fiji 3-0 and Bulgaria squeezed by Ethiopia by 1-0. Next up we have Chad versus Israel and Armenia versus Thailand. So let's simulate that match day and see what happens. So I just noticed Chad just beat Israel 3-2. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy that they just did that. Well done. Okay, that's a massive shock because Chad are awful on this game and Armenia beat Thailand by 5-1. Alright, okay. Next match day we have Burkina Faso versus Bulgaria and Panama versus Canada. simulate this one. And we have Burkina Faso beating Bulgaria 1-0 and Panama beating Canada by 1-0. So next up in the quarterfinals, we have Chad versus Armenia and Bolivia versus the UAE. So let's see what happens on this match day. Simulate that one. And I believe that Armenia beat Chad 2-0 and Bolivia beat the UAE 2-0 as well. Alright, so we have a semi-final situation between Panama and Burkina Faso and Bolivia versus Armenia, shaping up to be quite interesting now. So let's simulate Panama versus Burkina Faso. Quite a hard game to call. Let's see what happens. 2-2, so we don't know who's gone through yet. We won't know until after the semi-final because it doesn't show penalties. And Bolivia versus Armenia. Let's see what happens in that one. And it was 2-2 in that one as well. So Burkina Faso and Armenia reached the third place playoff, which means that in the final we have Panama versus Bolivia. That's going to be good. I cannot wait to watch that one. Hopefully it's better than the Lithuania match that we had just now. So let's find out our third and fourth place winners. Let's simulate that match day. We have got, okay, Burkina Faso I think won on penalties because it was 1-1. So let's just go back and just quickly confirm it before we, yeah, 5-4 on penalties. So Burkina Faso was represented by Ebsi. You come third. So congratulations to you. And Armenia, you were, oh, it's a guy with a really long name again. Aljiko Kostafon Algadou. He has won 4th place in your Subscriber World Cup, the second chance Subscriber World Cup. So congratulations for placing 4th. Next up, we have our final of this video, Panama versus Bolivia. Alright then, so here is your second chance final. Let me just remind you who's representing who. So Bolivia is represented by Cuthbert McVeigh and Panama is represented by, let me just quickly find it, Adrian de Rivera. So yeah, congratulations to you guys for getting to the final. Who's going to win? Let's find out in this final. Panama cross it in. That could be a... That's a great... Oh my goodness, that was such a good move. And Perez has scored in the 7th minute. 2 early goals and 2 finals in this Subscriber World Cup video. And that was such a nice move by Panama. Crossed in and then headed down towards the person in the middle of the box. And it was fired in off the post, and then Bolivia's goalkeeper couldn't do anything about that. So at half-time, Panama are leading by 1-0. And again, it's like the Lithuania match we just saw earlier, where one team will get the goal and then that's it. The game just shuts down. Bolivia cross it in, back post, and all off the bar. That is the closest they've come all game. What a ball. Tejada controls it nicely. He puts it in for 2-0. That was fantastic control. Tejada has doubled Panama's lead in the Subscriber World Cup final, and Panama are well on their way now to winning this thing. Bolivia have only done one thing, and that was hit the bar. If they had scored that chance, then, you know, it might have been a different story, but that shot was rather weak. But he used his strength to hold him off and then caught the goalkeeper off guard. It's 2-0. Bolivia maybe a consolation. They've been well beaten in this final, but you know, Panama deserved it. They've scored 2 really good goals and they've shut down Bolivia every single turn. I mean, look at that defending there. Just brilliant. Just amazing from Panama. Not letting Bolivia do anything. And sadly for Bolivia, they will be eliminated from this once it's booted away here. And yeah, Panama are your Subscriber World Cup champions for the second Subscriber World Cup. So Adrian de Rivera is your champion for the second chance Subscriber World Cup. So congratulations to you. You have done it after getting eliminated from the first one as well. So that's quite impressive, getting eliminated from the first one and dropping down into the second and winning that one. Second place, Cuthbert McVeigh. Unlucky, dude. You came so close, even in the final, hitting the bar. but unfortunately Bolivia just didn't have what it takes to win this one, and you have finished second. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope the rest of you enjoyed this Subscriber World Cup for the month of June. I didn't mention at the start, but anyone is allowed for July. Anyone, pick anyone you want, I don't mind. And if you did enjoy this one, then please give it a like and subscribe. Keep it local as always, and I'll see you again for the next video.